What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk one more time about Miles Morales' sales, but try and take a different spin on it. So, and I don't want to be very negative. I know a lot of people, even though watch these videos on my channel, right? We're kind of positive, right? We like Miles. I love the game. I think the game is really good in many ways, better than the original Spider-Man. There's a couple things that aren't as good, or maybe taking some steps back, but for the most part, this is a really well done game. It's just that, and we talked about it, right? That the sales didn't go its way. And so I want to talk about that. Why? Why didn't they go its way? And also, does this impact the future of Spider-Man games, right? Because you can look at Insomniac and say, all right, well, what's their plan? Do they do like a main sequel kind of game and then they do another spin-off? But it's like, okay, well, after this game, do they reconsider? Or maybe not. Or maybe is this game considered a success? So I want to talk about all of that in this video. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, if you guys haven't subscribed but you like the channel, make sure you are subscribed. Have the bell icon turned on so you know all these videos go up. And also, we started a Twitch channel. If you guys haven't followed it yet, the link for it is in the description below. We try to live stream around 2-3 times on Twitch every week, as well as one time on YouTube every week. So we're kind of just expanding the amount of times that we're online. Not that I don't do it enough with these videos, right? So if you guys want to follow me there, again, the link for it is in the description below. All right, so again, I guess to very briefly go over, remember, this game sold nearly like 66-70% worse than Spider-Man, okay? Now, that's only the first month. You look at like the NPD charts, the game didn't even chart on there, which is actually quite alarming, right, that the game didn't reach that mark. The game didn't sell very well, okay? The game really didn't do all that well, and the question is, well, why? Remember, the game sold like 650,000 when the original sold like 2.2 million, okay? So it didn't even come close. And, you look at the future, like, does this game have legs? Well, we know the original, and that was digital, by the way. Remember, because Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man 2018, that game went on to sell, rumor has it, that game went on to sell over 20 million units. So that game not only did well in that September, but it did well, in that holiday, but then it's really done well for 2 years ever since then, and the remaster, I think, will only kind of help it, right? That game is just so insane what it was able to do in terms of sales. So, all right, well, the question is why? Now, you could look at, and I'm going to say this just to get out of the way, because I know there were people that said it in the comments, kind of in like a jokingly way, where it's like, do we even want to touch it? And I really don't want to touch it, and that's why I'm going to be very, maybe selective on the words. I do not think it's the race, and I'm not going to really say any more words, and I don't want YouTube to get mad. I really don't think it has anything to do with the race of Miles or anything like that. I really don't. I truly don't. And people in the comments of that video made good points. A lot of them, actually, a lot of you guys said in that video, like, if you didn't get the game, the reason was because you're waiting for the PS5. So the thing is, well, does that mean that, like, the majority of people were doing that, right? That they're waiting for the PS5? I don't know. I think the answer does lie in that Miles isn't Peter. I don't think it's the race of his skin. I think it's literally the fact that Miles Morales is not Peter Parker, and it's not Spider-Man. Now, he is a Spider-Man, right? And I'm not saying, like, we shouldn't respect him. Like, we should. I'm not saying, like, people that don't buy the games don't respect him. I think that's probably the better thing to say. I don't think, like, if you didn't get the game, you're, like, some evil person, right? Because another thing is, like, it is clear this game is a spin-off game, right? It's not DLC. It's not, like, a lesser, like, it's purposely put together to be lesser than, but it is lesser than. It's less money, okay? Not by much, but that's because of, like, the price hike, right? Normally, the game would have been $40, just like Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. It would have been $40. So it's a game that is not a full price game. It's a game that takes, I mean, come on. If you do just the story, it takes 4 or 5 hours, right? If you do everything, like I platinum the game, took me 15, 20 hours, maybe max. But Spider-Man takes you a lot longer. Spider-Man can push in there, especially, again, if you're going to do the platinum, if you're going to play it on New Game Plus, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it'll take some time. So this game is just, it's not the original. And that's a thing too. That is maybe even a worry when it comes to, like, a Spider-Man 2, right? Because, like, I wonder if Sony or Insomniac is worried by these numbers. Not just with, like, spin-off games, but I wonder if they're worried about it with like, Spider-Man 2. Because, like, you could look at this, you could look at it 2 different ways. You could look at it and say, all right, well, Spider-Man 2 is safe because, like, it's Spider-Man 2. And it's, like, people know what to expect, right? It's big, it's gonna be enormous, all this kind of stuff. It is Spider-Man 2. You could look at it that way, or you could look at it and say, well, maybe the first game was just some lightning in a bottle. But again, like, not that like the quality has changed. The quality is in a lot of ways gotten better. But maybe you look at it from like how it resonated with people and say it was lightning in a bottle. Like, it worked. It got like tens of millions of people to buy this game. But like, they're content with it. Maybe they don't want to buy a sequel. Maybe they don't want to buy the spin-off game. So like, I wonder where Sony and Insomniac are thinking about that. You know what I mean? And because they pushed Miles so hard, I kind of made fun of them in a joking way where it's like, you know, they promoted this game. There was like something new about this game like every day, like every weekday for like at least 2-ish months before this game came out. They focused entirely. I even made the joke, like they forgot they had Demon Souls. They forgot they had Sackboy Big Adventure. They forgot they had any other PlayStation game. They focused on Miles. And again, I'm not saying like it was a disaster. I'm not saying like they failed or they shouldn't have done that, but like they put so much into it, and then it just didn't do very well. And you know, again, like, so the reasoning is, well, did people not buy it because of a PS5? I mean, I think that is some of it, but like, you get the free upgrade. So like, if you buy it on PS4, which you can do, and you could play it right now, and it's not like you don't have a PS4, because if you bought Spider-Man, you do have a PS4, you could play it and then just get the free upgrade. But I guess maybe people don't want to play on PS4, they only want to play it on PS5, or, you know, they don't want that system, they don't want to buy the game now and then wait 4 or 5 months to get it. I mean, I do think the sales of, I will give them this. I do think the sales of this game and any other PlayStation exclusive game will do better over the next year. I mean, PlayStation just kind of announced the figures, right, that they had shipped out. Now, that's not sold, but I mean, they are most likely going to all get sold. They shipped out 3.4 million consoles as of the launch day. So that's a lot, but I mean, it's not that many, right? And I'm sure there's many more people that want to get Miles that didn't buy the PS5 in that group, but they expect to ship around by the end of 2021, 18 million consoles will be out in the wild. So that's a lot. And again, like, that's only shipped out, but you expect they would all be sold. So, you know, you would expect 18 million, say, users playing on PS5. Now, again, it's not going to do half of that. It's not going to get, you know, 7. It's not going to get 8. It's not going to get 9. It's not going to get 10. It's not going to make that amount of percent back. But, like, could it reach 2? Could it reach 3? Could it reach 4 million, like, by the end of 2021? Could the legs help? Like, will this game actually have legs? I should say that, right? Will the game have legs? I think it will. I really think it will. I do think that as we get closer to Spider-Man 2, people will buy Spider-Man Remastered, and people will also buy this, or they'll buy it together. That's another thing, too, is, you know, they don't really talk about any sales that were, like, included. So if you bought the Ultimate, or whatever it was called, whatever the edition was, that had Miles and Spider-Man Remastered, that didn't count. They only counted Miles. Now, remember, like, going into it, I said, like, I'm only buying Miles. I really, like, I love ray tracing. I've seen what Spider-Man looks like on PS5, and it's absolutely incredible. So, like, that's great, but, like, I'm not... I played Spider-Man, I platinum Spider-Man, in all, I played that game like 3 times. It's like, all right, I'm done with it, okay? I'm probably done with it even when Spider-Man 2 comes out. So I didn't buy the full-on thing that came with that and Miles. Maybe that did really well. Maybe that sold like 1 million units. And so really it's 1 million, and then you have Miles almost 1 million, there's 2 million. But the thing is, even that, it's like, if Miles only ends up selling lifetime 3, 4, 5 million units, Spider-Man sold like 20, and that was like a few months ago. So like, if it's like 25 million and then it's like 5 million, it's like, that is so much lower. And of course you would expect it to be lower because it's a spin-off game, but again, like, does that put future, like, if they were planning a Miles Morales 2, if they were going to do Spider-Man 2 and then Miles Morales 2, or if they were planning Spider-Man 2 and then another spin, like a random, you know, like just another game, like maybe a female Spider, right? If they did that, are they worried about that now? Are they saying, well, because remember, it's what I said even in the last video, like, it didn't take the full team to do it, but it definitely took time. It definitely took resources, and it took time and resources away from Spider-Man 2. And again, it's the we don't know. We don't know what the idea inside Sony and Insomniac is, where it's like, well, did they need to make money? I mean, I guess right now, I mean, Spider-Man was the game for PS5. If they didn't have Spider-Man, it would have been a pretty weak... I mean, Demon Souls is actually a really amazing game. I think a better PS5 game than Miles, but, you know, like, Miles was that game. So if they didn't have it, that would be an issue. So did they plan it specifically for the PS5? Did they do it to give people something in between Spider-Man 1 and 2? Like, what was the reason? And would they be okay with doing that again and making Spider-Man 3 take longer versus maybe have Spider-Man 3 release like a year earlier, but you don't have any in-between thing? You get Spider-Man 2, you gotta wait quite a bit, and then you get Spider-Man 3. Like, which option do they prefer? Inside Sony, inside Insomniac? We don't know. I mean, we just flat out don't know. So, I mean, I know I already did a video on this, so I know maybe you guys are saying, well, he just keeps talking about the same thing. I mean, I think it's a really interesting topic where I didn't expect this to sell as well as Spider-Man. I don't know anybody that thought this game would sell even remotely close to what Spider-Man did, okay? But I didn't expect it to do this quote-unquote bad, okay? I really didn't. I thought it would do a lot better. So it does interest me, and it interests me if, you know, why people didn't do it. Will people do it going into 2021? Which, again, I do think they will. I just don't think they will, like, enormously. And, again, does this scare them off from doing future things like this? I would say no, but if the game, like, if we start hearing things that the game, like, underperformed, like, from them, or, like, if they kind of, like, if we kind of, like, can infer from what they say that this game failed, maybe they do actually change their plan going forward. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Why do you think the game didn't sell well? Do you think it was because the PS5, people didn't have enough of the PS5s? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. Again, if you guys want to follow our Twitch channel, link for that will be in the description below. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year's Eve. This, I believe, goes up on New Year's Eve. Hopefully you guys have an awesome day. You know, hopefully 2021's better than 2020. I think 2020 had its moments. Obviously, it was a pretty terrible year overall, but I had a pretty good year in certain aspects of it. But hopefully you guys have an amazing day, an amazing 2021. I hope to see you all on the next video.